So I got a question about moving platforms in a platformer, but this applies to all kinds of things in general. If you want to make a slightly different object, you don't have to make all the stuff again. So for example, the platform tells you how to create it with location and size. It can draw and redraw itself. It doesn't really need to redraw because they don't move. And it can collide. If you ask, hey, am I bumping into you? It can give you an answer. And it has this update, which again, it doesn't move, but we're going to use that in new ways. So instead of doing all that again for our elevator, that's my name for this thing, but you can name it whatever you want, we just say class elevator with platform in parentheses, meaning it inherits that platform stuff. And then if you put nothing after this, it would be exactly the same. If you put stuff, then it's like, hey, it's a platform except there's differences. So the difference for this guy is that it moves, and then if it's all the way across, then it restarts at the other end. And we don't have to say anything about size and shape and drawing and redrawing. We don't have to say anything about landing on it, walking off it, jumping it, hitting your head from below. All of those things come with the modular nature of the code, the object-oriented nature of the code. Whoa, it's slow. If my guy knows that this thing is a platform, then it knows how to jump on it, jump off it, walk on it, walk off, hit the head from below. All that stuff holds true, and I don't have to start over. I don't have to make a big block of code. I have to make a tiny one that just says, hey, here's the difference. Okay, so this applies to a lot of ideas in your code. When I made the Space Invaders enemies, their ships, and then the player ship, I started out with separate classes, but then we said, you know what, they're the same. Let's just make one ship class with a little bit of difference for each one. When we make items in our platformer, if you make like a power-up or a little poison thing or a flag that's the target, that's what you want to win, you don't have to make all of them as completely new guys. You can just make one class called item, and it has how to create it, how to draw it, how to run into it, how to place it on a piece of ground. And then you add a little tiny bit that's like, oh, this one makes your guy change color. This one, your guy picks up and it's a key and you use it later. This one, it does damage. And you just say, hey, they have little bit differences, but they're not from scratch. You don't have to tell them how the whole game works. They'll fit into the game.